Jason is here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason DeBoer from MakingStarWars.net. And today we're going to talk about Star Wars news like Rogue Squadron and movies that have been canceled and brought back and canceled again and brought back again. And Rob's got animated backgrounds. And Bespin's George Costanza. And Jonesy became a channel member again. And thank you, Jonesy. And Mike is saying all hell Lambhead because he's in a cult. All that stuff. It's all going to happen today. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I forgot the rest. Oh, pay us cash money with super chats. You can become a supporter of the show on Patreon. I'm making Star Wars at Patreon. You could also you could support Bespin Bulletin on Coffee, and you could support him on Patreon as well. And you'll see the links to those in his articles if you need them directly and stuff like that. And so how's it going, Rob? Your background is making me actually very, very is it a child playing the game behind you?
Yes. Yeah. Hey man, not everyone's as smooth a shooter as you are, right?
no, just did you hear about Battlefront? Like what happened with their like servers? I don't know if it's true because I wasn't there.
It's true. Yeah,
it's true. There was like, I think how many was it? Was it like 10,000 copies sold, but only 200 people could play? Like 10,000 people
three
on
servers active,
and 3 servers with 200 total. Is I think the number breakdown on that?
Kicking people out when they got into the servers. Yeah, had a bad launch.
Yeah. So if you plan on getting the Battlefront remake,
maybe
you
wait.
might want to wait or just not do it because you already played it before, and it sounds kind of dumb to me anyway. I kind of want it. I kind of want it, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm out. It's easy to be out on that. But
I think you said it was going to be bad. I think it was like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, you had a prediction of it's going to come out bad.
Yeah, because they're going to have a really big, like I figured they would have like it would bottleneck itself. Like a bunch of people would come in like, oh, well, there's a new Battlefront. It's the old one I love. I don't like new things. Only back when Anakin was fighting kids. That's what I like. Mm-hmm. And then they were all going to get on, and then they're going to look at it and they're going to go, what is this? This game is like old and like it's not modern. You know what I mean? No, it's not a modern game.
You just didn't expect this. You didn't expect like...
Well, I know. I didn't expect it to be this hilarious.
I think it was the other day we were talking about Azure. You said, oh, this should be a busy day for me on Thursday.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that busy. Like, it should launch well. And
poor Azure.
Maybe we should check on him. He's had a bad couple of weeks.
Azure just can't get a break right now. So just be nice to Azure, you guys, okay? Rob, be nice to Azure.
Yeah, specifically Rob. Yeah.
What? I'm super nice to him.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I know he has nothing to say to me because yesterday we were playing Battlefront the other day and Jason dropped out at the very end and Bespin disappeared.
We were playing Fortnite.
Oh yeah, Fortnite, whatever. It's Battlefront when Azure plays, and then
okay. That's fair.
But we were playing Fortnite and you guys dropped out, and I was stuck with Azure, and I was like trying to talk to him, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah." And so I was like, "You want to go?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, man."
Yeah, I came back. Azure was just on his lonesome, and he was like, "Yeah, don't know what happened to Jason. Rob just left." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. He didn't really, he wasn't missing me too much, To be honest, I really think he was a spy for the other teams. I mean, he was constantly hiding in shacks, way away from us, doing weird secret stuff.
I think he purposely made us worse as a squad
to punish us.
To punish Rob specifically.
Oh yeah.
Because once Rob left, we then won. So I think he was doing it to annoy Rob.
Remember when I first started showing up, you were winning. So the problem is you got better and threw the whole team into another bracket of hardcore players.
I don't know. It's like maybe if you hurt your team's feelings, they don't do well. That's kind of spit when I said that.
Then maybe Jason should not talk the entire time we play. Because if you really want to know who slings shit at his friends, I mean, Jason's the grand poobah of shit slingers. Like, there's none better. Like,
Can I do it? Yeah, there we go. Little rock concert.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the last thing. Thank you, Santa, for helping me. Please like today's show and also follow Santa's show on Star Wars Santa. It's a really nice show. It's very positive. Unlike this one, where we are mean to a young British man who's just trying to play video games. That's pretty much the point of the show now. All right. All right. Let's. Oh no, he changed it. We got the Santa thing. So, yeah. If a moderator could ban that person, that would be nice.
I'm on it.
Yeah. For some reason I can't do it in this thing anymore.
It won't let me do it at all.
Yeah. I'll put it on the screen.
Because it came from Twitch. I can't do it. Yeah.
I shouldn't even stream there anymore. Like, I think one person watches us on Twitch and it's that spammer.
Right.
All right. So here we go. This is our story du jour. That Rogue Squadron is back. Okay. Did it ever really leave though?
No, it's been with us the whole time.
You know what I mean? I mean, Patty Jenkins on her stupid skates, skating around.
Yeah, I like skates.
Patty Jenkins says this is from bestmanbulletin.com. Patty Jenkins says she's still working on a Star Wars Rogue Squadron and owes Lucasfilm a new draft. Kathleen Kennedy will have her legs broken, right? If she doesn't bring it. She's like, you owe us.
Part of the mafia that Snyder said she's in.
Is that what he said?
Spielberg mafia.
The Spielberg mafia. Yeah.
He was talking about the transfer of directors on the new Jurassic Park movie and the behind the scenes stuff. And at the end of the day, it looks like the guy before Veitch, or what's his name? What's his name, Bespin? The guy who was directing
Vinny.
John Wick guy. The John Wick guy's team, David Leitch's team, got rid of someone behind the scenes that Lucasfilm had put, or Amblin or whatever, Frank Marshall's crew had put in, and they were like, you don't do that,
I one time, like a few years ago on this show, I made fun of Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall, and I was like going to the grocery store, and this like black van pulls up next to me. It grabs me. They throw me in the back of the van. They brand me with a hot fucking like. And I have like an ET.
This has happened to me too.
I have an Amblin ET tramp stamp like right above my butt crack.
No, they put arachnophobia right on my taint.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. You must have really talked some shit. All right.
My wife hates spiders, so you figure that one out.
Well,
it's doing me no favors.
At least now she doesn't have to look at your asshole. All right, Patty Jenkins owes a draft. All right, do the audio levels generally sound okay, you guys? We had some weird audio issues last time, so if you guys noticed it's really bad, just let us know in the chat, and we'll try to even it out.
StreamYard, man, they don't. Everyone's like, every other show has it right. I'm like, all right, great for them. They probably have an audio mixer too, and Jason's gonna have to invest in.
Well, every other show every other show likes you guys. I don't. Every other show lies to you guys, and we usually don't. I mean, except for that time I said Kathleen Kennedy gave me an Amblin tramp stamp. That was a lie. But other than that, yeah. All right. I mean, and other shows get paid. That's the big difference here too. Like when we ever start making money.
Bring up Campia and Snyder. I'm like, they all make it. Snyder has a newsletter, $100 a year. Listen, right here, you guys. If I don't get $1,500 in super chats in the next 5 minutes, we're fucking done. I won't read to you.
Is that your Snyder?
I don't know what that is.
I think that.
Actually, when you do Snyder, when you do those guys like that kind of that California American voice, you go like a Sam Spady kind of thing, like a hey she, kind of thing. So I think that's me imitating that accent.
I never do Roka though. Roka's the one who tells them about the money.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
so you need to do a Roka impression.
Okay. I've tried, but it comes across as Alex Jones, and that's unfair to Roka.
Oh. All right. This is my this is my impression.
Oh, look at that. It's my show now. Let's talk about Avatar. So
I'm back.
What? Oh, damn it!
It was just an impression. All right. Just when you thought,
queue up some Avatar game footage so we can switch that topic when you leave next time.
I know you are too. Just when you thought Lucasfilm had moved on from the slate of films they announced in 2020, Patty Jenkins, the director, tapped to direct Star Wars Rouge Squadron. Oh no, I feel like if I say Rouge Squadron, that's gonna be like a thing the fandom menace guys end up saying.
Rouge Squadron.
It's woke and it's all about ladies. It's Rouge Squadron. Okay, so anyway, Rogue Squadron reveals that she's currently working on the movie and that she struck a deal with Lucasfilm for the movie ahead of the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes that ran from last spring into the fall. And before I forget, Bespin Bulletin had a cool story that he did not add to this article because he's fucking lazy. And in it was that
in the morning.
Yeah, you're fucking lazy, dude. I mean, you went all this way and didn't include your very interesting scoop. And it's that her husband, Patty Jenkins, Mr. Jenkins,
Leroy.
What is Mr. Leroy Jenkins?
Something Smith, I think his name is. I can't remember.
His name is Leroy.
His name is Leroy Jenkins, Mr. Leroy Jenkins. He wrote he was writing a draft of it, or was it a TV show version?
I don't know.
Or do we don't know?
Worked on a draft, yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, chances are obviously they're married. It's not like there's going to be, unless they're having marital issues, they probably are communicative about what they're doing and what's going forward and stuff. So I would imagine that he's going to be a writer on it or credited as a writer on it. I mean, unless everything he did was complete shit, she told him to his face and he could take it, you know? I mean, maybe that's the case. But anyways, I think that was an interesting scoop, and I think it is worth noting because when she made that deal, and around the time that, do you know when you reported that? Like, is there a chance that
I reported it like months after I heard it.
No, well, I know that, but what I'm asking is, when you heard it, is there a chance that he was writing on this deal that we're hearing about now, or was the writing something else?
Too
early. Okay.
She says it happens right before the strike.
The strike, yeah.
I heard it like months before.
Yeah. Like how many months are we talking before? Maybe not specifically 4 or 5. Okay, that's pretty far. All right. In December 2020, Jenkins was announced to be helming a Star Wars movie titled Star Wars Rogue Squadron, and she skated on rollerblades and donned an X-Wing pilot's helmet on an airstrip. And
Kubrick did the same thing when he shot 2001.
Yeah, but he also faked the moon landing, so who cares what he has to say? She was revealed. She has Patty Jenkins, the moon landing too. She has revealed to have a movie in active development, and that it was slated to hit the big screen, the first since 2019 Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker on December 22nd, 2023. The date has since come and gone. There was no Rogue Squadron, and we fans still await the next Star Wars theatrical release, which appears to be The Mandalorian and Grogu, which starts filming in June. But Lucasfilm, being Lucasfilm, have yet to confirm a release date for the movie, despite having an untitled Star Wars movie dated May 2026, and have stated The Mandalorian and Grogu will lead their theatrical slate. So, and just to be clear, because I've already seen, you know, the cats who like to dumb down their minds for content. You know, they're not sincere. They go, oh my god, they're doing this now. This doesn't mean that The Mandalorian and Grogu isn't coming out. It doesn't mean that anything isn't coming out. I mean, you could even not believe this is coming out. That's fair too. It's all completely fair. But it's not an either or situation. I'm of the opinion right now that they are moving towards having a Star Wars movie every year in the future. That's the goal. They know that they won't make it sometimes. So I think by setting that as the goal, if they don't make it, then they take a year off, then it's actually fine. It's positive. Things breathe a little bit. But I think that's
Jason. I'm making my movies. I'm making them. They can't stop me. I just got a new villain I want to announce exclusively on your show, Jason.
Right.
He's gonna be Darth Tickles. He's a new baddie. He likes to come around. He gets you from the backside. You go a little tickle.
Yeah, I can kind of feel it when you say it. It's like ASMR.
Oh,
my
Gen
butt.
Z gonna love it. You know what I mean? Not too threatening. You know what I mean? But you know, he touches you inappropriately.
No.
Which I mean, we can all relate to that, right, Jason?
Dave, you're gonna get your movie canceled. Rogue Squadron's gonna take your movie spot.
Okay. All right. Peace. Love you. Kisses.
Jenkins exited Rogue Squadron less than a year after she chucked out those rollerblades, and the film was indefinitely delayed. Some fans and unreliable outlets reported that Jenkins was let go because of the negative response to Wonder Woman 1984, which released a couple of weeks after she was announced to direct Rogue Squadron. That wasn't the case, and it was reported as much from more reliable outlets. Yeah, one quick little thing is they did that to Colin Trevorrow as well, and then look at what the same people, Amblin or Jurassic Park people, still did business with them. If he was tossed out because of what was it called, like Little Matt's Adventure, Book of Henry, yeah, Little Matt's Adventure, Book of Henry, whatever, yeah, Little Henry or Book of Henry, he wouldn't have been on Jurassic Park or Jurassic World and all that shit. So this is just fucking stupid stuff people say. She simply had to leave
the Book of movies, Book of Boba Fett, Book of Henry.
Well, it's done.
Book of Eli.
Yeah, it didn't work out. None of them work out.
Motherfucker, wasn't he like reading Braille or something in that? It didn't make sense.
The Book of Mormon wouldn't work as a movie either. It needs to be a play.
I don't know.
Stop with it. Yeah.
She simply had to leave the project due to a commitment she had on a third Wonder Woman film, which was the original story, by the way, which Warner Brothers had pushed up. So she was obligated to work on that project first. In the months and years that followed, it has been reported multiple times that the Rogue Squadron film from Jenkins was dead and that Lucasfilm had moved on. Just last year at Star Wars Celebration, Lucasfilm announced 3 brand new films. A film that would focus on Rey Skywalker attempting to create a new Jedi Academy, a crossover event film from Dave Filoni that would see The Mandalorian and connected series converge in this one movie, and a film that would explore the origins of the Jedi from James Mangold. Less than a year later, Lucasfilm announced that The Mandalorian and Grogu, a follow-up movie to Disney's hit series, The Mandalorian. It appears as if Lucasfilm had moved on from Rogue Squadron and have their hands full with a bevy of Star Wars films in various phases of development, which is what they now have. There's a fuck ton of movies in development. The difference, I think, with that Rogue Squadron thing is that we had like the tentative like release date like window on that one, which made it like so much more like official. Like whereas like Taika's, there was never like a real thing. It was like, oh, we hope it's gonna come out in 2023. But anyways, this brings us to present day, where Patty Jenkins appeared on the TMC and Max, the streaming service formerly known as HBO Max podcast, Talking Pictures. During Jenkins's chat, the topic of her seemingly defunct Star Wars project, Rogue Squadron, was brought up, with Jenkins surprising listeners by revealing that she had signed a deal with Lucasfilm to develop the movie just ahead of the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, and that she's currently working on the movie, and that she owes Lucasfilm a new draft of the script. Jenkins said, "Support me on Ko-fi, coffee.com/Bespin Bulletin." Did she really say that, Bespin, or did you just fucking make that up?
No comment.
Then she went on to say,
I don't think we've ever made Bespin laugh.
No,
I was doing the math for why you were talking.
Most people don't laugh.
Yeah, he's never. I don't think I've ever heard him laugh.
No, I'm
like, no, you've never heard me do a big laugh. No,
he doesn't. He's not capable. Yeah. It's called depression and anxiety. He can't help it.
That is genuinely what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Jenkins says, "I left Star Wars Rogue Squadron to do Wonder Woman 3. I went and started working on that and talked. Patty and Lucasfilm."
I am Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins? Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, she said, "I left Star Wars. I went and started working on that and talked Patty and Lucasfilm about that and me maybe coming back to Star Wars after Wonder Woman 3. So we did a deal for that to happen. Started a deal. But I was doing Wonder Woman 3. So when Wonder Woman 3 went away, Lucasfilm and I were like, oh, we got to finish this deal. We finished the deal right as the Writers Guild of America strike was beginning. So now I owe a draft of Star Wars Rogue Squadron. So we'll see what happens there. Like, who knows? It's a hard job. They have a hard job in front of them for what the first movie they're going to do. They have other directors who have been working, but I am back on doing Rogue Squadron, and we'll see what happens. We need to develop it and get it to a place where we're both super happy with it." So, and that sounds honest to me. The news of Patty striking a deal with Lucasfilm less than a year ago, and that she is still working on the project, is certainly a surprise, especially given the studio's focus on The Mandalorian and Grogu, along with the untitled Rey Skywalker film in particular. When asked if she was excited to be working on Star Wars again, Jenkins seemed thrilled. Like how thrilled would you say she was, Bestman? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how thrilled?
Michael Jackson thrilled. Yeah.
Ooh, thriller.
Yeah.
The Wonder Woman filmmaker stressed at how beautiful the franchise is and her enthusiasm for wanting to make a film around fighter pilots, in particular due to their interest in jets from the 1970s and 80s. Jenkins said, which is, Top Gun-ish, right? Absolutely, Star Wars is beautiful. The emotion of Star Wars and what it stands for is something so beautiful in this world. In particular, in the moment that we're in right now, Star Wars was born out of World War II, right? Kind of more of a Vietnam, but I'll take it. It was, a lot of the shots were dam busters and stuff, so I'll give it to her. I'm sorry, Patty. You're smarter than me. You're a director. It's born of how do you make a metaphor and talk in metaphor. That is funny that she says that, because these motherfuckers, like the Phantom Menace guys, they don't know what that is. They get real confused. So in that way,
is the metaphor the new Oculus, Jason?
No, dude. It's like, it's sort of like, I don't know, man. It's like just about lasers, dude. Okay. So in that, I've always wanted to
try a meta foreskin.
Oh yeah, because your father was a Jedi. You're a Force-kin.
Yes,
I'm a Force-kin.
Yeah, it was done under circumstances.
Yeah, we don't have foreskin in America.
No.
Well, it's not white, not white people, anyways.
No,
it's like if I was like a Latino man, I might have some foreskin.
I have a little Jedi hood,
you're a little Obi-Wan Kenobi. All right, I've always had a hard time with it because I'm in. Poor Patty, she just wanted her quote out there. That's all she wanted.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Just wanted to express her love.
Bestman didn't help.
All right. I always had a hard time with it because I'm in love with the jets of the 70s and 80s, but that's not where the great dogfight stories are. So Wonder Woman, Sorry Star Wars becomes a great playground for that. Star Wars is so beautiful. So yes, I can do something beautiful and do something that serves that Star Wars audience, and it's great. Then I love to do it, of course. So I mean, I think these are generally a positive, good attitude for, what she's saying.
Also, she hasn't got a job, really, so...
Yeah.
Gotta be nice to maybe get the job.
Do you think maybe she should just come and hang out with us and...
But there were no female fighter pilots in World War II, Jason, and they got women flying these things, and it's ridiculous. And when was the aliens flying the planes in World War II? And where's the
no aliens? They're fine with aliens.
There weren't any clones flying planes in World War II. I mean, you're gonna never hear the end of this.
Nyan Num has a big pussy face, and they're cool with it. So anyways. Though Jenkins seems to be very enthused, I'm not personally holding out much hope for seeing Rogue Squadron on the big screen. There's multiple films connected to The Mandalorian being developed, the new Jedi Order Rey film, among others that seem to have more steam and to be more of a priority for the studio. We have a plethora of Star Wars films in various forms of development, and we've not had one on the big screen in 5 years, and won't see one on the big screen for at least another 2. I don't see Lucasfilm committing to all of these movies, nor do I want them to. At the same time at the time of writing, we had The Mandalorian and Grogu, New Jedi Order, Dawn of the Jedi, Mandoverse crossover film, possibly a follow-up to a Mandoverse crossover film, a movie being directed by Sean Levy that might be a follow-up to the New Jedi Order film, an untitled film by Taika Waititi we know nothing about, Lando being written by Lando Calrissian himself.
Lando by Lando.
Lando by Lando. That's the movie. Okay. That's a good name.
Logo for it. I'm making the logo, Jason.
Lando by Lando.
Yeah,
I would watch Lando by Lando. Donald Glover and Rogue Squadron. Now here's one of the things that I want to interject into this. If we don't know for certain, but early on, one of the things that the way it was talked about was that Rogue Squadron was a post episode 9 film. And one of the other things that has gone around too, which I believe to be more accurate than it being an ancient movie, is that the Taika movie is a post episode 9 film too. So we could see the Rey movie and those movies all filling out that era of Star Wars. It's
Taika's
possible.
Was possibly before Different Galaxy. It was all over the place.
Yeah, from the way it's been talked about, I don't believe that to be true. Just personally, I'm not. It's not like a scoop or anything like that. It's just reading into language. I don't think that's the case personally. I think that Tychus is also a post episode 9 story.
So tweet that, right?
What's that?
Somebody's going to tweet that.
Oh well, if they tweet it, they are disingenuous.
Hold on, I'm on it now. Hold on,
yeah.
Hold on. I'll be back.
What I do hope.
Disingenuous. That's my X title now. I got a shadow. It is disingenuous who posted that.
Disingenuous.
Yeah.
Darth disingenuous. What I do hope for Rogue Squadron is that it becomes a multi-season series, and we're gonna fight about that too, or a limited series for Disney Plus. Having Jenkins on as a director for an episode or two, along with being an executive producer, sounds great to me. The Mandalorian is seemingly moving away from the small screen and onto the big. Andor ends with its next season. There seems to be no plans for a second season of the Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we don't know how the upcoming Acolyte and Skeleton Crew will fare. Either way, there's some Star Wars shaped holes to be filled on Disney Plus, and I'd be happy to see Rogue Squadron on the service. So where I completely have always disagreed with you on that is that it will not have the visual spectacle that is required to really deliver the X-Wing fighters and the spaceships and stuff like that in a way that is gratifying. They just won't. And with Disney Plus, with their current state, I think it would be terrible. I say you just don't do it. I say
they just play Battlefront 2 right on the screen and no one will know the difference. It's so great.
I'm not saying that they can't give us fucking the equivalent series of Jag. You know what I mean? But Jag fucking sucks, and I don't want to watch Jag, even if they put a Star Wars logo on.
Lighting too with the soft glow. You know what I mean? Like a one purple light or a blue light over here, right? There's a lot of that going on there.
But I'm not a Patty Jenkins expert, so I don't know. Can Patty Jenkins will Patty Jenkins deliver the visual
Well, look
at
the visual superiority of Wonder Woman 84. I mean, right? Wasn't that?
I don't know,
yeah.
but
almost got a laugh from Bespin on that one.
Yeah, he almost did.
I heard it. He stopped himself. He's like,
yeah.
When she's running all slow mo down the road, it's great.
Yeah, fireworks.
Yeah, because it's like when the first Wonder Woman movie, I saw it in the theater. I had a fine time. I was like, it's fine. I liked it. I bought it on sale on streaming or something like that, so I own it. And then when 84 hit, I watched that and I was like, this movie just doesn't know what it is. I don't know about I didn't finish it because it started off being like a Superman 79 or Christopher Reeves Superman throwback, and then it just wasn't. And I was just like, this is just all over the place. This fucking sucks. And I lost interest and I stopped watching it. So I don't know if there was any good visuals. Sometimes you'll see a bad movie Wonder Woman 84 could have good visuals while having a bad fucking script, but I don't know.
In the trailer, they're doing that Olympics thing with the kid, right? And I'm like, so 84, that it's going to take place at the LA Olympics, right? There's going to be the big showdown. I remember there was that big conspiracy theory back in the day with Alex Jones when they were saying they were going to play the government was going to play holograms at the 84 Olympics and try to fake an alien invasion. I'm like, maybe they worked this shit in, right? You know what I mean? Some of that stuff. No, man, that's giving it way too much fucking credit. You know what I mean? Why? What was the point of 84? What was even? There's no 1984 reference. There's no actual 1984 reference. There's no reason for it. It makes no Superman. There was a Superman movie in 84, Supergirl, right? But I don't understand. Jason, I don't understand this movie.
Okay, that's fine.
Trying to be mean. You
know we don't have to review that movie. I didn't even watch it.
But she's writing
I think
this
it's trash.
one, so I'm just confused why they would continue. But it's why do they keep letting Zack Snyder write scripts after Sucker Punch? Why? Why do they let him do that?
But Zack Snyder wrote the first Wonder Woman. He didn't write the second one. She wrote that, and look at that. So you got to give Zack Snyder.
There was other writers on the.
There's other writers, but she took over.
Right.
Wonder Woman 84 without him, and I don't know,
but also, I mean, your the story that you had a while back is she hasn't even been the only writer on this so far.
No, it was her, and it was the guy that did The Invention of Lying, the Dora and the Explorer movie, and I think it's Monster Trucks that
Monster
was
Trucks.
writing this movie originally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
no,
then
no, I'm talking about
possibly
her.
husband.
I'm talking about Mr. Jenkins though.
Yeah, but even him, like, he's not like.
Yeah. What did do you know what Mr. Jenkins wrote?
He
Can I
writes
look?
books about like army dudes and shit, like
Okay.
SAS stuff, and then
Well, I mean that's kind of neat. I mean,
and then he did a
it might
TV
tell
show
us a
called
little
I Am the
something.
Knight.
Yeah, Stephen Knight, the Stephen Knight story.
Yeah,
This is
but
about how Stephen Knight got the job of writing Star Wars.
Stephen Knight as Batman. That's what it is. He goes around the Peaky Blinders town, kicking the shit out of people.
Writes
that's
movies by day, or Peaky Blinders
Yeah.
stories by day, and then solves crimes by night.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
I
what
watch
it
it.
is.
And it's called Crimes by Night. That's part 2.
Crimes by Night.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
But
So like my
honest,
fear,
though, Jason. But really quick, I just want to say, like, the final screenplay credit for that Wonder Woman movie went to Alan Hyman, but it's story by Zack Snyder and Jason Fuchs. And look, I guess Zack Snyder gets a story because he was probably like, it'd be cool if she fought and everything blew up. Like that's Zack Snyder's story. But Jason Fuchs is really credited writer, and Alan Hyman.
I believe it's Jason Fox because I do.
Jason, you know, that's your handle. Like you're confusing yourself again.
That's
with
that's
$1 billion screenwriter. But okay.
Whenever those fucking losers on Twitter have decided like, oh, I don't like something about Jason, and somebody like says actually you're wrong, then they go, this is Jason on a sock account. So if I'm gonna make the name Jason Fox and just go defend myself with that Twitter,
you should just make the account Jason's sock account with a picture of like a cum stain like sock.
But Alan Heinberg,
you know, me looking sad, like why?
He wrote a bunch of cool comics. I mean, you know, like,
okay.
He wrote good comics. He wrote a bunch of TV, like Sex and the City, Gilmore Girls. I mean, he was bringing. I mean, I know he's an openly gay man. I'm not saying like he brought the femininity, but he brought, you know, like a certain flavor to that film that's not existent in the second movie, like at all. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know about. I very few directors can write their own material. You know, very few can pull that one off. And so, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I haven't been. When her movie was dead. I didn't care. No, I honestly, I'm not gonna.
But you know, the Screenwriters Guild, you know what I mean? They're pretty strict on who gets credit. You know, so doing a pass, I mean, that ain't the majority of the script.
No,
it's not the same thing.
No, well, yeah, you're right. But Ray of Waters, wait the comment. Patty did a pass at the first movie, just didn't get credit. But and that's the whole thing. Patty wouldn't get credit if she didn't go to arbitration for it. She might have just not given a shit. She might have just been like, yeah, and she probably was paid for doing the pass.
Well, she got total credit with the story and screenplay on Wonder Woman 84, and we saw how that turned out. So there's your proof in the pudding. It's not a good movie, and I'm I wasn't going in there hating on it. It's just it's a horrible. Movie.
But once again, one movie is good. Another movie's bad. It doesn't mean that she's a fucking idiot and she just Jar Jar Binks did, though.
I mean, you would have thought she would at least get some story credit, like Zack Snyder and a couple of others did.
But if she did,
the first one, no.
But if she didn't go for it, she won't get it. Nobody's gonna give it to you if you don't ask. She was already directing it. She might have just been like fine with not asking for it. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't know. I don't know a lot about Patty Jenkins. So it's like, you know. But my whole thing is that somebody can do a good movie and a bad movie and a great movie. It can go that way. It doesn't. It's like just like, you know, I think Colin Trevorrow's first movie is great, and I think everything he did after that's crap.
Yeah, I like Monster, and she wrote that, but you know, 20 years before Wonder Woman 84. So it's like, look,
yeah.
What do I say? Let me give you a person who writes things that I like and then starts writing things I don't like. George Lucas. George Lucas wrote American Graffiti and Star Wars. You know what I mean? I love his work. I don't like his prequel writing. I don't like it. Sam I Am. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah,
people do, and that's 20, 30 years later. So like people do change. Some people get better at certain things and worse at certain things. And so far, the trajectory on her writing skills is, now if she were teamed up with Greta Gerwig or even Diablo Cody or somebody. You know what I mean?
Why can she only team up with? Because she only team up with ladies because they have to hang out together. Rob,
the force is female, Jason. Don't you know this?
What? You're right. Oh, dude, watch out! We're gonna get Brandon again.
What
by
if
Kennedy.
she teamed up with Patty with some other person's husband just to fuck with them, right? Yeah, whatever. But I mean, if she was teaming up, I guess, man. But
yeah,
like I'm not keen on Favreau writing the Mando movie, but we're getting that too. So.
I mean, but I mean, like I love Taika's movies, and Next Goal Wins is fucking weak.
Yeah, but everything he did before that was like good to fine.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying though. Is it's like
but like he didn't have a stinker like Patty did.
Mm-hmm.
Taika's been pretty consistent over like the 10+ years he's been doing this.
It is
Jenkins
Taika's is stinky, but it's not a stinker.
But even if you don't look at that, even if you look at the people that were writing this movie, they weren't good. Like the guy that wrote who was the original writer who spent the most time with her doing it, was not a good a good writer. Like I can't remember what his name is.
Jeff Johns.
No, it wasn't Jeff Johns. Matthew Robinson was the guy's name.
Oh, Matthew Robinson.
And
he's done Dora and the Lost City of Gold, Monster Trucks, a movie from 2014 called Jerked, The Invention of Lion. Like he's
Story of My Life.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to play devil's advocate, is there a chance that if this is a good writer who is taking jobs to get in?
What makes you think he's a good writer though? Because nothing he's made has been good.
I don't really think that Dora the Explorer is going to be good even with a good writer.
No, but he did other movies. He did The Invention of Lion. He did Monster Trucks.
Wasn't Invention of Lying? Wasn't that like well received?
Not really. It was like mixed. It's a Ricky Gervais movie. Like
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Monster Trucks wasn't very good.
Monster Trucks was not good. No.
I would say Monster Trucks like reshaped cinema.
Great concept. You know what I mean? Like that should have been big with the kids, Jason. It's called Monster Trucks, but so should
Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines. But you know what? It didn't work.
But then even when you look at like the husband, if he didn't actually do a draft, his work isn't that great either.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a novelist, right? So
he's a novelist, but he does write TV shows. Like, and the TV he's written hasn't been like good or great TV.
What were his TV shows?
Like,
again?
I Am the Night is one of them.
Okay.
Stephen Knight wrote that.
It wasn't. Yeah, like it wasn't Stephen Knight, unfortunately. Sam Sheridan is the guy's name. I forgot. So so he wrote I Am the Night and a TV show called SEAL Team. Okay. So it's like this guy does like army stuff. So even as a producer,
he's a writer on Jag, right?
So even as a
Jag, the Next Generation, Jason. That was exclusive to TBS. Don't you remember that?
So even as a producer, you produced on like Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan for Amazon.
Jack Ryan?
This guy, like, he's also attached to Wonder Woman 1983 for something, 94 for something. He was an actor in it. He was a U.S. Army technician.
Okay.
In that movie.
Yeah.
But like that's what I mean. This guy just comes in and does anything that's related to like the army or special forces sort of stuff. Like obviously that's what his novels are based on, but like,
Right. It doesn't sound like they were shooting for the stars with the writer's talent on that one.
Do you remember like when they first
You convinced me. My mind can be changed.
But when they first announced Patty to do it, like she was doing interviews following it, and they were asking who the writer was. Okay. She's like, "Oh no, can't say. He deserves his own moment in the spotlight, and make it a big deal." Then it was just Matthew Robinson, They got to a point where people on Twitter thought it was like sulking, like.
I need that inflection and that title when you do the documentary on his life. Just Matthew Robinson, like, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm not like, oh, I don't want this to come out. I'm more like, I want it to come out and I want it to be good, but I want it to come out. And if it's bad, just so we can get past it, just so we can be like, Okay, there it goes.
I'm into the idea. I have always disagreed with Jason. I think you could bite off that Top Gun success. If you knew what you were doing with this. I just don't think they know what they're doing with it. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, how do we even know though? I mean, just you mean?
Oh, I have
no. You mean because of the hires?
Based on nothing.
No, you mean
cynicism.
You mean because of who they've hired though? That's where your cynicism is coming from. Yeah. That's completely fair. That's completely fair. Like, take or whatever on that stuff. Because
what I usually look for, man, isn't if someone had some big hit. I look at like, what are the things they gravitate toward when they're not on a big hit? Because sometimes you get the real artist, right? Like, what are they doing on their own? Like, what are they producing? And like generally these screenwriters, they have scripts that are on the blacklist or something, or they have other projects they were attached to didn't get made, and you're like, okay, I see why it didn't get made, but that was an interesting project. Like, like Macquarie had the John Wilkes Booth project for the longest time, and so the people out there have had tons of Alexander scripts and just shit that you're like, okay, I can see why they didn't get made, but I could see the logic behind it. Like when Gilroy was talking about all that stuff he was trying to get made too, more of the historical stuff, couldn't get it done. These people are like, yeah, man, I'm looking to write monster. I don't know. I had a spec script for Polly in her pocket, and you're like, I don't know, man, if these are the dudes that like. It's very Sony-ish, if you know what I'm saying.
Do you think that the guy who did Monster Trucks looks at Barbie and goes, I was just ahead of my time?
I'm the guy, man. No, I'm the guy who should have been on Monster Trucks. I don't think they put enough fun into it. Like that's kind of the problem. Like with something like Monster Trucks, you got to go like Monster House. You got to go far with it. It's just lukewarm.
Oh, Monster House Party. Kid and Play animated series. He's Dracula. He's Frankenstein.
I pitched that to Rob.
Instead of the big thing, he's Frankenstein.
Okay. Yeah, I pitched that to Rob Schraub. It's gonna be huge with Gen Xers from the '90s into Hood. But he didn't want to write that. So we don't.
Ray Waters says Snyder and Roca are going live in 2 hours. Snyder has implied that he thinks Patty is lying. I don't know. And then Ray Waters goes on to say, I'd like an X-Wing pilot story, maybe not as a film, maybe as an animated series. See, Ray, you're my Star Wars dyad. I always generally agree with what Ray of Waters says. I am like, it needs to be a movie for the visual spectacle, or an animated show where they can do the visuals, like, you know what I mean?
And if you remember, Jason, a few years back, some fan person did like a 2D with 3D ships, anime style Raid Squadron.
Lucasfilm sent that one, the one with the TIE fighters, the anime one. They sent that in the Obi-Wan's to Know Me surveys, going, do you like this? Do you want this? And I was like, yep. Yeah, and then they did it. No, and then a year later, they did it again.
Right. But they never made that, and it's like, you could do that as a really
They
great
made the Star Wars Resistance, Rob.
Look, man, that's what don't get me fucking started on Lucasfilm animation, all right? You're going to set me off, okay? Like, look at that fan bit, and then look at what they're doing with their own animation, and can you see the giant divide in creativity, Like, at this point, they're better off taking that Squadrons game that came out and just using that footage. It looks better than whatever they're doing on Bad Batch and Resistance and whatever. Like, seriously.
I don't even want this Rogue Squadron movie. Like,
you're not into the idea of it at all. No matter which.
I never liked the idea of it when it was supposed to be the first movie back. I didn't think it was strong enough to reintroduce Star Wars to the theaters with. Right.
Agreed. Yeah.
And and at the time they announced that Top Gun Maverick had not come out and been a big success at that time.
Right.
But regardless, that's the right people doing that movie. Like this, you know what I mean? Macquarie was involved with Maverick to some extent, and on this you have the guy that did Dora the Explorer. You know what I mean? Like, there's a big contrast. So I never was on board with it. The only reason I say I would like to see it as a limited series is if they put a bit more money into it.
Yeah.
And made it like, they look at Andor and they know Andor is their prestige show, is their awards contender. It's the one that's going to give them critical acclaim. Even if it doesn't have the most viewership, it's going to bring them awards buzz.
It proves they know what their choices are when they're making them. Yeah.
So what I imagine for Rogue Squadron is sort of that, is that they see, okay, we're losing our critical darling, which is Andor.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try and do that with Rogue Squadron. Put it as a limited series, give it a bigger budget than you would have, say, Mando or something. Put it like film it here, which they were going to do with Rogue Squadron anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and get a good writers' room around it and some talent, and just, let's see what happens. Like I said, I would want Jenkins on as an executive producer. I would want Jenkins on to direct episode or two.
Mm-hmm.
She has also done TV in the past, so I don't think she's opposed to it. And to see where it goes. That's my wish for
Yeah,
Rogue
but
Squadron.
do you know what the internet would do with that? They'd be like, they're downgrading Patty Jenkins from being a real director to being a TV director. Like.
But she's coming off the back of Wonder Woman 1984 and has no
You
other
don't have to
movie.
sell me on it, bro.
No. But I think like
you know what they would say. Like
some people might be like, oh, this is what she deserves after Wonder Woman 1984. But if
Well,
she
okay.
does, if it was that and she got a win, then that gives her more like, water in the well, essentially.
Let me ask you guys this then: is Patty Jenkins not that far from Tony Scott?
No, she's a far cry from Tony Scott. Ridley Scott's a far cry from Tony Scott. All right, sorry.
I don't know, man. Like Tony
Scott is the only guy that was able to shoot a Tarantino script and not fuck it up, bro. Like
no, but Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder, The Last Boy Scout, Crimson Tide, Enemy of the State, Man of Fire, Deja Vu, On Stop. I gotta say, I think
the only one in it that's not a banger is Days of Fire, and it still looked great.
Yeah,
and it had Michael Rooker. So
I don't know. I think they're very, very much the trash of their day.
Beverly Hills Cop 2 is a good sequel. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's
Crimson Tide's fantastic. What are you talking about?
Trash
True
of the
Romance
day
is great. No.
True Romance is good, but I mean that's the outlier. I mean, if I give Patty Jenkins
Deja Vu is actually a good movie. I don't know. That's quite a cool. Have you even seen that?
What, that was like 2006, the one with the
it's like kind of like a Punisher movie. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I don't know about. I mean, it's
Enemy
not
of the State
it's
was
fine.
a fun movie, man. It was actually ahead of its time. Like,
yeah, when I'm looking at though, I think, I mean, when you really get down to it, he was a music video director. He's one of those 80s music video directors. I mean, that complimentary way, where he was like,
but he was good at it. So was Fincher, but he was good at it.
Yeah.
And
but like, but Fincher is a completely different league. Tony Scott is not in the Fincher league, I don't think.
Right. Look, they should have given Tony Scott Die Hard 2 or 3. To be honest with you,
yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah.
Like that.
To be clear, I like Tony Scott.
Really underrated film, dude. I'm not gonna let you slander the good name of Tony Scott. All right?
I'm not gonna let you slander the good name of the Wayans.
yeah, of the Wayans, right? Particularly the '90s, right before Major Payne. Although I gotta be honest, watching him make fun of those kids is pretty impressive because you can't get away with that now. But
when Major Payne was coming out, me and my friend got girlfriends, and we were going to see the Major Payne with the girlfriends. I didn't want to see it; they did, and then I got dumped. And then my friend went on the date to see Major Payne still, and I have hated I was one day like Major Payne was on, and I hate this movie, and I was like, why do I hate Major Payne? Why the fuck do I even care? I was like, I'm still mad about being 14 or whatever when it came out. I was like, you know what, Major Payne, you were absolved. You were absolved.
Well, I didn't watch it in the theaters, but I remember when I was in the Army, we had this fucking hard-ass first sergeant. Well, so I'm going to finish this. And he said you couldn't watch any TV on CQ, dude. That's where you stay up all night and like guard the front desk at the barracks. You can't. It has to be Army movies. So we put in Major Payne.
Right.
Like, counts, you know what I mean? Sort of counts, you know. And I was like, all right, it's got its moments, you know. It does have its like kids at summer camp moments, you know. It's no Toy Soldiers, all right. That's still my top tier. It's my top tier.
Yeah. Go ahead, Becky.
Snyder's teasing he's going to say why the X-Men 97 creator was fired today on his show.
Oh, yeah.
Unless he gets a response from his reps.
He's holding him like ransomware, right? Like,
respect.
Total respect. I like this calling them out and holding them at rants.
Well, did you see what he said yesterday? He was they were showing the Fall Guy again for the second time at South by Southwest, and he said if I was there, they responded to my emails about an invite, I wouldn't be able to leak the Scarlett Johansson news today. So, if he doesn't get something, he's putting it out. So
right.
I don't know, but this whole thing with Jenkins, I'm just over it. I've let this go in my head. I don't think this is happening, and we've said on this show multiple times, just focus on the Mando movies that you're doing, and then move on to the Rey movies.
I think this should be an anime film, and they should get that guy, the fan artist, hire him to give him some role, right? Not like lead, but pay the man, because the dude, literally came up with that look. And then put together a great animated series that wins over critics and wins over fans. Maybe not right at first, but blows them away with something they've never seen before, right? And then you could build characters that could transition into live action if they bond with those characters. But this milquetoast animation thing going over at Lucasfilm and Disney's got to stop, dude.
I don't even care about animation at all. Star Wars animation right now.
And
actually, Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi is my thing. I do like that, but there's not enough to really for it to count. It's too little.
All the things you could do in animation, and this is what we're stuck with, So it's just a real shame,
man. Jonesy says, "You were traumatized, Jason. You should watch the movie every week for a month. Then you are exposed to the crap, and the lady who dumped you is left looking like a lady of lousy character. Hey, she didn't get to see Major Payne, so that'll teach her.
That'll teach her." I did see Blank Man in the theater zone. I'm proud of myself for that.
You saw Blank Man?
Yeah, David Alan Grier.
Yeah, I watched Blank Man on cable. I saw it on cable.
So good.
Yeah, that was a cable watch for me. I did see the Jerky. I saw the Jerky Boys movie in the theater. Though.
That counts as a theater, right? Because I saw Blank Man and Booty Call. They maybe weren't the same one, but I put them together in the same one because I had such a good time with both at the drive-in. But
have you ever been to a drive-in theater, Mr. Bestman?
No.
No. Yeah. Do you
guys
really have them? They don't really
no.
exist. Oh, okay. Yeah. But anyways, when it comes to this thing, Taika's movie, this one, anybody who goes I don't have faith in any of this stuff ever happening, I don't blame them. But
I don't.
But what do we keep seeing?
Oh, I think this one will get made though. No, I take that back. This one's gonna get made.
Well, we keep seeing they are trying to get these movies made. They're like it's not like
2042.
Well, they didn't so a lot of the times when stuff goes bad, you'll hear that Lucasfilm kind of gets this uppity attitude, you had your chance. They kind of do that kind of shit, and no, but we're not seeing that right now with Taika and Patty Jenkins. It looks like they are attempting to foster a group of talent, and that they are moving forward with issues that keep arising, but they're not cutting them off and moving on. Now, we have seen that with Mangold's first Jedi movie that he's working on. We know he's not the first one to tackle that one right there. We do know that they did move on. Who was it? Was it Goyer who was doing that?
David S. Goyer.
Yeah, David S. Goyer was doing it. And honestly, that's kind of what I would kind of prefer if they had stayed that with Goyer. But who knows what the issue was? Maybe he just burned out on it. Maybe he gave it all he had to give.
Gave a script, but they just didn't go forward.
Yeah.
But he wanted to do it, so.
Yeah, and they clearly weren't. I don't know. I think if they were in love with it, they would have brought him back when they decided to go forward with it, but they didn't. So,
but I do think that the thing is with Lucasfilm is I don't agree with the thing of, because I mentioned in that article of they fire directors or stop working on projects when the director has a project and doesn't get received well.
Right.
It's just a fake narrative made by fans who dislike the director or whatever it may be. They did it with Patty, they did it with Taika, they did it with Trevorrow, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think more so, Lucasfilm do jump on talent they think is hot in the moment.
Firing Lord and Miller though, everyone loved what they were doing.
Lord and Miller were told, shoot, keep shooting, shoot coverage, shoot the script and shoot coverage. They didn't do it. They got fired. They did deserve to get fired. They were told by the overlords to do something, and they just said okay, and then didn't do it.
That's back to that classic 3-camera
story.
setup, like I Love Lucy. Then they won't have to worry about it, right, Jason? They have all the coverage they need.
But right. I mean, you know what I mean though. Like when somebody's just like, I mean, if that is accurate, and I believe it to be accurate because the sources on it were accurate about everything else, all the other Star Wars movies.
Jason, you're a rebel.
I would have quit. I think they should have just quit.
I heard similar things to you, right? I said to you that like I heard that the writers of the movie weren't happy that they weren't getting what they written and shot. So whatever. But
you have Kasdan. Yeah, you have Kasdan shoot Kasdan's script. We didn't hire Kasdan for you to not film his script. That was. But
anyway, like that's going off the topic of it. But I do think they hire people based off of like how hot they are and at the moment. So Patty was coming off of Wonder Woman and was going into 84, which had a lot of buzz, and it's the same thing when they had Benioff and Weiss. They had Game of Thrones, which is like the biggest TV show in like a decade. And then, you see him with other, like, Gareth Edwards was coming off of Godzilla and, small things like that. But same thing with Ryan. But, so that's what I think. Like, I think they slowed down on those projects. But I don't think they fire those people.
Yeah.
Like, you said before you'd like to see the Godzilla -1 director come and do a Star Wars movie. I don't want him to do it. I think that movie's fantastic. But I think, like, keep him away. People have said they want, like, Denis Villeneuve to come. Don't. Keep him away. Like,
protect them.
Protect these guys. Like, don't let them
Who should make a Star Wars movie, Basman?
I don't even, like, really know at this point. Like, the person I always wanted to do it was Taika, and they got him. Like, and he's in, like, hell on this. He's been working on it for 4 years, and now he's saying that I'm going to do 4 or 5 other movies before I come back to it. Like, he is who I wanted to see tackle Star Wars because I think he could do a good one. And the person he was paired up with initially, like Wilson Khan's, like, I think that's the perfect like blend. Having Taika, who's tackled big blockbuster movies like Ragnarok, and then having her that's done literal war movies and more dramas, like. That was the ideal partnership, but obviously he's seemingly gone, and Taika is off shooting a General Ortega movie. Like, I don't know who I want to see it. I would like to see Ryan come back and do something original because I think Ryan's best work are his original works, and I like The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. But he's added a trilogy announced since 2017. Like, he's doing the Knives Out trilogy right now.
It's a non-starter at the end of the day. Just nothing happens, right? I mean,
the more like auteur like filmmakers that I don't want them to come and do Star Wars at this point. I don't want that.
Do you think Dev Patel should have wrote and directed the Crow movie remake? Because that Monkey Man trailer is pretty amazing compared to the Crow trailer.
Listen, I quite like the Crow remake trailer.
Yeah, I thought it looked good. I thought it looked like bones and all, and then you had the best analogy for the Crow trailer, I think. After that, we talked about that.
It's like Bones and all meets John Wick.
Yeah, Bones and all meets John Wick. I mean, it could be cool. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if you can play that clip I sent you, but that like was just Anakin vibes. That.
Oh yeah, I can. I could try to put it into the mic though. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, there's this moment when he from that Crow trailer. Wait, this is it right here, right? Let's see if you can hear it.
I'm gonna kill them. Every single one of them.
Can you hear it? Did it play through?
Not really.
Crackled a bit.
Really,
well, he's all, I'm gonna kill them, every single one of them. The men, the women, the children. Yeah, it's not like I can hear the Attack of the Clones monologue or whatever you want to call it almost start going.
I like the shot where they're shooting him when he's doing the weird, rickety bone thing, but I doesn't have the attitude of Monkey Man. That shit is dope. I think honestly, man, me, my top tier is Macquarie, but my second pick is the dude who put together the Grey Knight. I think.
Well, he's doing Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saddened by that because I think that'll ruin his chance for something meaningful. You know what I mean? Like I don't believe in that
Well,
project. I don't believe in it.
Taika started directing an episode of The Mandalorian and then got a movie. So in a weird way, it's like his audition, you know.
His audition should be the Green Knight. Like that was the audition, and he
Well,
succeeded.
no, it's not that. It's that you could go make the Green Knight at A24 and do a good job, but then when you're having to answer to Lucasfilm and a bunch of trust fund babies who got their jobs because they went to the right college, it's a little different. I'm sorry.
He also did Pan and Wendy after the Green Knight.
His Disney output sucks.
Yeah,
His non-Disney movies are fantastic, and that right there, that's actually kind of like exemplifies my point. He's good outside of the Disney system. In the Disney system, it's like, and he should have done
the Green
Lolo.
Knight version, not the Pan and Wendy version.
Yeah,
and that's why I don't want like a film like it was more like when I was told to come in and do Star Wars for that reason. I don't want them to get like bogged down in the system and maybe have their film through development hell, and that stopped us from getting another great piece of work from them. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like at this point, I don't really have a lot of excitement of who will come in to do a Star Wars movie.
Michael Bay. He's gonna do the Clone
As
Wars.
True would like shit himself on the spot if that happened.
It's gonna be called Clones. That's what.
Well, no, I have to be honest. If they did do a if Michael Bay did a Star Wars movie and they were like, we're gonna do Star Wars, and he leaned into the fact that I'm Michael fucking Bay, then I would be like, you know what? Let's see what that is. That sounds hilarious. You know, but they probably won't do
check
it
this
that
out.
way.
Disneyfied.
Disneyfied.
Remember in Oh Brother Where Art There? She goes, he's bonified, right? He's dignified.
Yeah.
Holly Hunter, he dignified.
I know what's weird. Ray Waters says Lucasfilm seems to have a better time getting tours for their shows. Gilroy, Lowry, Daniels, etc. And that's what's funny about like Skeleton Crew is there's a bunch on there, or you know, a bunch of really interesting people, and you're like, but you got them for this one. That's I mean, maybe that's the power of the what's his name?
John Watts.
John Watts, you know, but
what if they got into situational comedies and they did Need a Break with Captain Nita, right?
Need a Break. Right? He just died. He died yesterday.
Yeah,
killed him. That
joke
AI, killed him.
But with AI, we can bring him back. He can never die, right? We can
shit.
AI Nita, you know.
Yeah.
I need a break.
His
I need a break. I show deserve.
His first name should be Breath. His name should be Breath Nita, and when you see him like on the roll call, he's Nita Breath.
I'm dead, but I've been Disneyfied, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Skeleton Crew, a show by people who should have gotten movies. Yeah.
No, like, did they need movies? Like I said, it just goes to the thing of Luke's going to hop on the thing of the hot new talent and then screw him over.
Yeah.
Like every one of them has been screwed over other than Ryan, but he got screwed over in a different way. Like he didn't get screwed by Lucasfilm. He just got like bombarded by hate from half of a fandom.
Yeah.
Like,
look, say what you want about The Last Jedi, and I have my arguments, but he put a hardware wars goof in there, and it was excellent. Like, come on, man. Like, you win for that alone, right? I don't like the sequence, but I'm proud that he put that in there, you know?
The people, like, on Skeleton Crew, like Lowry and the Daniels and stuff, they deserve to go and have their own stuff. I don't want them to see do a Star Wars movie, unless it's, like, I don't know, another 10 years away, after they have some like heft under their belt. You know what I mean? Like there's
they haven't had a complete trilogy win with their films, you know? They don't have a universal win, and that's what they need. And I don't know where they're getting that from, other than maybe the Mando stuff. But I mean, look, Favreau's probably better at movies, you know? I'll give him that. But
I haven't really watched it all the way, but I think that there's something to be learned from Rebel Moon, which is that a movie at first doesn't have to be like galactic history. Every time we think of a Star Wars project, oh my God, it's the new history. What's happening in the era? I do it every time. Like it's where my mind goes. But in reality, you know, like World War II could happen on Naboo. You know what I mean? And that could be a whole movie.
The last show we did, Jason, we were talking about plots. And I'm like, the plot of Star Wars 1977 is very simple. There's these stolen plans. The princess is captured. Farm Boy saves the princess. They blow up the Death Star. That's it. It's not this giant. The prequels gave us this era with political tone. What's going on? And that's harmed Star Wars in the long term. It takes the adventure out, and it turns it into this like this again. It's more like Othello, right? Like it turns into this Shakespearean stuff. Which look, you can have elements of that, but when that becomes your focus, you lose the adventure, lose the fun. It needs, when I say fun, I'm not saying like dumb fun. I'm saying like high adventure fun. In the way that the first Pirates film had it, a good chunk of Force Awakens have it. There's good sequences in Into Darkness, like when the three leads are in that ship arguing with one another, where that's great fun, you know. And
well, even like, on the flip side of that, on the serious side of the board, it's not adventure, is Rick's Road from Andor. Right. It's one place. And it's a compelling story. It would have been, if that was a movie, if Rick's Road had been a movie, it would have been fucking fantastic still. And that's where I think that, like, I hope they're kind of moving in that direction. Like where, yeah, Patty Jenkins can do a Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie, and it's not about the new threat that's coming. Snoke's cloned cousin's brother is showing up, and oh god, we're all fucked now. It's like, you know, and so I hope that all of these random movies on the docket, I hope that's sort of the philosophy of this phase. Because the first phase was we're bringing back the original people, and we're proving we're doing the sequel trilogy, and we're proving that we can do independent films or standalone films. And now that they've done that, well, what is the point of this phase of Star Wars films? Like, what are they going to do? Like, what's the connective like theme or you know, tissue going to be of all of these movies? And like, I have to think that with how disparate everything is, maybe it's going in that direction. That's my hope for them. But or maybe it's just chaos and there is no. Can
you bring up Colin's like?
Oh yeah.
Again, because I know he's agreeing with me, but
Colin said I agree with Bespin. It's why I think more journeyman types like Sean Levy are decent choices paired with an excellent writer.
And that's exactly what I think should be the way forward at the moment for the movies, right? So Sean Levy, yeah, he isn't a great writer. Like he wrote most of the movies he doesn't write, you know. And I feel that they had a great time with him on Deadpool, like before they finished filming it, and they're so excited to work with him for his Star Wars movie, and everybody there loves him, you know. But he's a guy that will do the job, do it well, and he'll deliver it. He had a smooth production outside of obviously there was a strike that was outside of his control. He had a smooth time on that. He does a great job in Stranger Things. You know, he did a great job in Free Guy. I think he's the guy to do this as long as you pay them with a good writer. So Jon Favreau doing Mando, that's his baby, but he is the sort of Jon Favreau. I don't rate him as a writer, but I rate him as a director. So, you know, when we look over at that new Jurassic World movie they're making, and they got Gareth Edwards to do it, you're like, that's a fantastic choice as a director, right?
Yeah.
Based off of his past work. And it got me thinking of David Leitch. He was supposed to do that Jurassic World movie. He's formerly a stuntman. All the action in his movies are great. If you brought him into Star Wars to do directing duties, because he doesn't really write, but you had a good writer on board it, that would be a good Star Wars movie. Because we complained in some of the TV shows, you know, whether it's Obi-Wan Kenobi or whether it's the later scenes in Ahsoka, that the fights weren't that great. The action sequences weren't that great. This guy, like, he's got the Fall Guy that just premiered and is getting great reviews.
I'm excited for it. I love that show as a kid.
For its action sequences and everything. So
it was a less racist Dukes of Hazzard for me.
Yeah. So if you told me the next like three Star Wars movies were being directed by Jon Favreau, Sean Levy, and David Leitch, I'd be happy with it, as long as they had good writers. Yeah. You know, like that's where I wanted to go. I think until there's new management at Lucasfilm, you don't give David Lowery and you know, more auteur filmmakers a film, because I don't think they get treated well and right at that place at the moment. Maybe they will in the future, but under the current guise of Kennedy and whatever else, we know she doesn't foster that talent. She just doesn't. Maybe as a TV show, people on TV seem to have
George Lucas, you know,
like
a Spielberg type, and it's like, I don't think that's the way to go about this anymore.
So yeah,
their initial idea was let's get people like young George Lucas who might give us something like young George Lucas, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, they brought in a bunch of
middle-aged men. Yeah,
J.J. Abrams and Ron Howard and shit. Like
and Ryan Johnson, he's as old as I am, I think.
Yeah, but he got away with it. Like he's the only one that
No, he's the only one who pulled it off. But he's also like I said, they were trying to get like these like young directors is what they were saying. And in the end, they were pretty just normal directors.
Right, yeah. And and that's the thing. Like, I think if you go into this position now with it's still Candy, because I think she's going to get a contract extension by the end of the year because it runs out. She's going to oversee at least one of those new movies releasing. So she's probably going to get an extension to 2027, you'd imagine, right? So until she's gone, I don't want like a more auteur filmmaker to direct a Star Wars movie. Maybe work on the TV side of things, but not a big thing. Just get like people like they said, Levy and Leach and Jon Favreau to direct them.
Well, I want to draw this up too, really quick, right? When Joel brings up that he loves that about the prequels, I wouldn't really want every Star Wars film to be as simple as A New Hope. Like, I get what you're saying, but the complexity should come from the relationships of the characters, the way Empire does it. The prequel just sets up there's plot and machinations, and one day you'll find out what this really plot and machinations is, and it just digs itself further and further in the hole with Sifo Dyas and all this stuff that doesn't matter. None of it's emotional. It's not the characters getting more complex. It's just things happening around the characters that make it seem complex, and if they fill the frame with enough visual effects, it'll feel more complex than it really is. It's not the way forward. You've had 20 years of this, and you keep wondering why the stuff you're getting feels hollow, because it keeps trying to find a way to make that work, and it's not going to work. Like, Star Wars is not Dune. All right, Dune is Dune. Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones. Star Wars is Star Wars, and it needs a level of high adventure for it to feel like that stuff. Even if it's serious, like Andor still has, like, they're going to have to bust out this prison. That's adventure. It's serious adventure, but busting out that, I don't know how they're going to get the prison. It's a simple concept. How do we get the fuck out of here? And this is where it helps knowing that there's a movie, because you're like, he gets out. So the whole time you're like, and they make it almost impossible to get out. You're like, how do you get out? You have no idea how he gets out of there. Nobody predicted that. So that is what I'm talking about. It's not complex. The characters' relationships, their experiences to what their experience is emotionally complex. That's the difference. So
there's no one way to skin a Kowakian monkey lizard. That's what I say.
Hold on, I want to see if that's true.
Sometimes no. I mean no. I mean I go with it. I don't want it to be all one or the other. I don't want it to be all Andor. I don't want it to be. And even when Andor is not
that. Do it, Jason. No, it's not true. No, I eat Kowakian monkey lizard at the Mongolian barbecue place all the time, and there's only one way to properly do it. And, you have to start with your teeth and peel around the outside in a zigzag pattern. And you hum the theme to the Pirates of Penzance. Because it can get you laid if you know what you're doing. Yeah.
No, I mean the thing is that, like, if you're fucking making Skeleton Crew, you don't need to make Skeleton Crew like it's Andor. It could be as simple as just high adventure. That's fine.
Yeah. Salad the Hut. I would do that. I was gonna put a Salad the Hut in Endor, but the Disney Channel didn't give me enough money. So
the Battle of Andor.
Can anybody in the chat figure out if there's still a private video on Star Wars' YouTube account? Because the other day somebody shared that like people on Twitter were sharing that there's a private video on the Star Wars Twitter account, and everybody got hyped thinking it was the Acolyte trailer.
Yeah, that's my experimental film. I put that up there for
some fucking douchebag goes on Twitter and he's all, the Acolyte trailer is coming Monday. Get ready, and everybody's like, really? And then he's like, no, I just thought it might come on Monday.
But it was like
I recorded my my Wordle scores to something in the way, and I put that up there. So
Thrawn Kill says Star Wars version of Enemy Mine would rock, and it would. But yeah. So like it's probably. Do you think after we could see that the video was privated, do you think that they took that away?
No, because they've released the Bad Batch clip now, which was my theory.
Yeah.
Was every week on a Thursday they put out a Bad Batch clip,
right?
For the new episode, and there was a private video there. And now that clip has been released. I wonder if it was just that.
Oh, okay.
Like if it is one just still sitting there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. because
I really want there to be some secret conspiracy thing that's going to save the day for them. It's not coming this year.
Well, the thing is, like, to just to really quickly hit on the last part of Rob's thing, is that what George did with the prequels and that thing opened up a ton of potential and defined an era for there to be those simple adventure stories that are just good in that place. Now that we know what that place looks like, Lucas just didn't execute it smoothly by conveying that data with that feeling for Rob in that instance,
Well, now
and
all
so,
I got to hear about is eras and timelines and how this links up to that and who's gonna. And it's no different than when they announce a Marvel show and you have to. Everyone's talking about what cameo is going to magically appear, as if that's going to make the thing better. And these timelines aren't going to make the Star Wars better. That's not going to solve the problem.
No. But what I'm saying is that I think you have to have you have to have something that defines the era. But once that's done, they need to have fun in it. And then they need to successfully be able to do both things. They need to successfully be able to do a Star Wars prequel thing where, like, here's the era, here's this trade federation, here's all the corporate, like, shit that's coming in, ruining democracy and why we get to the wars. They need to be able to efficiently and expertly convey that data along with giving us a new hope in one of those fucking stories at the same time.
Half our audience won't watch it because it doesn't
Andor
feature a lightsaber.
Andor is not fun. I love it. It's not fun. It's fucking if reading Gramsci is fun to you, then Andor is fun. But I love it.
Fun, like it's fucking big, and it's not what I'm talking about. Fun in games, like whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know, and no, that's like the whole thing is, like, if they do one film that, like, defines what all the, like, for instance, Andor does a really good function in the sense that we actually see what imperial oppression looks like. It's not like there's just like when you watch Star Wars Rebels, there's like a big fat guy and a little guy and they're Imperials, and then it's like, Oi, I'm gonna take your Melaroon fruit and you're gonna be hungry. And you're like, oh, that empire, that oppression, and you don't give a fuck. But when you watch Andor, you're like, oh my God, it's really bad. They're fucking, like, doing shit to people's brains and all that kind of stuff. And then so it's like they can balance it out. It's not all one way. And that's been a problem for Star Wars storytelling and the hiring stuff. It's all auteurs. It's all, it's like we can do both. You can hire a writer just to write a script for you.
Well, this Rogue Squadron project has a chance to be something that has more of that fun combined with, emotional stakes if you care about people dying. Because let's be honest, people die in starships instantly. You don't get to say goodbye to your friend. You're like, hey, there was Biggs, and he's gone. You know what I mean? Like there is that immediate, they're gone, so it could have the weight, but let's be honest, it could also come across like Hot Shots Part 2. I mean, I'm hoping it's more Maverick and Top Gun than it is Iron Eagle 2. You know what I mean? Like,
and we don't want to know about the political machinations about why it's hard to be a fighter pilot in that era, wherever it happens to be. Like, that's fucking who cares, right? I mean, it's
I just fear it's gonna be did you get the 0.3 starlight time and the run on the Delph Star 4, and you're like, man, I don't want to hear about this.
I'm hitting switches on my spaceship.
Yeah,
boop, boop, boop.
Like, right, so it's like let's hope they need like a Glenn Powell. Like, that's why, Matt, you need these. The cast is gonna make that work. The most. They need a group of people who play off one another in very antagonistic but likable ways. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's what they need.
Yeah, and it. I mean, the thing about Star Wars, though, it's very tropey, and that genre has a ton of tropes. So if they are able to, really get that concentrated, it could be good. As it true answered your question, Mr. Bestman. As it true says they uploaded a Millennium Falcon fly-through video in that Disney Plus playlist.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Or
Acolyte trailer.
I get to see now they're all like in Rogue Squadron basic training, and they're like, "Where'd you come from?" One guy's, "I was a nerf herder," and you're like,
Oh my God, I get that reference. Han Solo said that.
Your call sign is Scruffy. You know what I
when
mean?
somebody
It's
gets
like,
in the cockpit, then somebody's gonna go, "This is where the fun begins." They're just gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of pulling out, you're not doing any good back there. Colin Llewellyn asked, "Did Acid True get his name because he's great at eating that ass?" I mean, that is it. We didn't need to say it, but yeah, that's true. I mean,
this is where Acid True goes silent for 15 minutes when we're playing Fortnite, when we make those kinds of jokes, and he's just
he's just quiet. He just gets very.
He goes on a rage killing spree. You know, he gets 17 kills.
Yeah, once I made it turn off his mic, and I can hear him doing breathing exercises. You know,
no, those were Kegels, Jason.
Oh.
Yeah. He was working his pelvic, to get in shape for the ladies.
Wait, Colin says, "I noticed he didn't answer mine." What? No, we just told you. He Acid True is a fucking cocksmith. I mean, everybody knows that.
It's actually his legal middle name. Yeah. Acid True Cocksmith.
Azzy Cocksmith True.
Yeah, Tiddlewinks.
Yeah.
His last name was Tiddlewinks. But...
All right, well, guys, I got a busy day ahead, so we got to get going. Today's an early day at school, so I gotta get the kids early and everything. So I have to get everything ready, hyper fast. So we will be back tomorrow if there's any Star Wars news, obviously.
When that Acolyte trailer comes out. Yeah, there's a private.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Right.
Counting the days.
I know. I like how that stupid asshole who kicked off the whole thing, every single time somebody says something, he goes and he puts up this fucking picture and it says doubt. And he does it. And just remember, that stupid cunt did that to me on The Mandalorian being a movie.
Right.
And within a few months, it was confirmed that The Mandalorian was a movie. So that guy is a stupid fucking asshole who does karate in the front yard. And when it comes stained sweatpants. And he's a fucking idiot who buys toys. And I hate the guy. He's such a fucking idiot. And then the other fucking idiot takes his thing, fan maths it, and turns it into a fucking thing. And it's just like, these guys they're fucking morons.
And turn it into a fucking thing.
Oh God, I just fucking can't stand them. They have shit for brains. They're just shit for brain fucking morons.
Come on, man. I have shit for brains.
I know, dude. And you're enough. You're enough, Rob. You're enough. All right. Anyways, Colin says, "Hey, laugh out loud. Hey, look at my 18 new Funko toys. And also, can you please fund me so I can pay for my kids' food?" Yeah, right. My kids need medicine, but I don't have it because I bought an Ahsoka fucking action figure off of Jake Lloyd. All right, everybody, we'll be back tomorrow if there's any news. Thank you, Bespin. Everybody can support you on Coffee, and they can support you on Patreon.
Yeah, I just want to thank Mike G and James for supporting us on the last show. So thank you to those.
Mike G and Jiggity James. Was it Jiggity James or the different James? Different James, probably, right?
He just signs it James. So
just
that's
James.
the name he wants on the coffee. I won't say who it is. Yeah,
just James.
Yep.
Just James. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. We had a good time. It was fun. For just this one story, we got a lot out of it today, I'd say.
Tomorrow we'll have our sound way out of whack. It's gonna be great.
Tomorrow we'll cover the Bad Batch, I think.
Rob, I'm gonna be 600% louder than everyone, and Bespin's gonna speak in subtitles. I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow's show.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I was like, I want to cover Bad Batch, and then when we didn't talk about Bad Batch, nobody even brought it up.
No, it's been weeks now since the first
that's how off it is.
Joe, Jason, the show I did with you is all we need to say on Bad Batch, I think. All right. You're never gonna top that.
I mean, it's
done. It's done.
Top that.
Oh,
all right, bye everybody.
You want to do that? Top that.
Top that. All right, everybody. Whoa, it looks cool when you got the background moving, and it was like yeah, that was cool.
Rogue Squadron, top that.
Dang.
That was
Super chats.
End the show. Super chat, top that. Pop that.